situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for the carnival, if you'll interview him, eh?
But how could you defend one shot, one kill?
What, you want me to throw a pillow at him?
I didn't say that.
No, well, if a roach jumps in front of you now, what will you do?
Run.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
What is television? It seems like a simple question, but television means different things to different people. We in the Caribbean are very unique people. That's why we need unique television. Welcome to M&E TV, where we showcase our lives in the Caribbean. M&E TV is about us, the special way we talk, the way we walk, dance, move. M&E TV is about me. It's about you. M&E TV is about our amazing Caribbean experience.
It's here at a newsstand near you. It's the Guardian Lucky Number Draw. Your daily chance to win $1,000 instantly when you purchase the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. It's quick and easy for your chance to win. A unique number will be printed at the back of each Guardian newspaper daily. Purchase your Guardian newspaper, then join JW for the daily Guardian Lucky Number Draw, the winning number on just before the nightly news on CNC3. If the number drawn matches the unique number at the back of your Guardian newspaper, then $1,000 is yours. Just bring the winning Guardian newspaper and a picture ID to Guardian Media Limited. You have until 3 p.m. the following workday to claim your prize. It's the Guardian Lucky Number Draw. Your daily chance to win. NLCB approved.
It's the Deep South Derby here on neutral ground, the Arima Velodrome, Saturday's customary arena, the second match day of match week 9, the final day of round 1 in this Ascension tournament. It's home away from home for me, and more recently my co-commentator Jassy Marik.
Yes, Jovan, really happy to be here as always as we get prepared to see a Deep South Derby. I like the way you put that. Moruga FC taking on Deportivo Point Fortin, two teams with contrasting fortunes in this competition so far. Point Fortin really certainly of late finding their feet in this tournament, while the Moruga FC team still searching for a first point, and hopefully they'll get it right at the very end of round number 1.
Yeah, a really good game here for both teams. Moruga FC with the brain trust, so to speak, Dylan Maskell back on the touchline for the second week in a row against a very tough opponent. They have Deportivo Point Fortin, who are up into the top 4 this week.
Yeah, and when you look at the lineups on either side, which we'll get to in further detail, certainly some really interesting storylines as well as we get into this one. It's Deportivo Point Fortin coming up against Moruga FC in game 1 of your Saturday afternoon doubleheader here at the Arima Velodrome. But before we get to that, let's take a look back at what transpired last night at the Phase 2 Lahokta ground in Arima as well, not just a stone's throw away from this venue. And of course we had 2 matches on. So this was Central Soccer World in the first encounter taking on Kunupia FC, and chances for either side throughout as they look to break the shackles in this one. However, it would be Central Soccer World that would find the breakthrough, and this was the moment that they had been longing for. That man there, Nicholas Dillon, who came on to such great effect in their previous match, inspiring them to a win over Central FC, and this time he got the goal via a rebound from Theophilus Bond's initial effort, and then a rebound in despite the desperate attempts on the goal line there by the defender from Kunupia FC. They continue to try to press to find something in this one, but it would eventually end up 1-0 despite not at all some not bad efforts. This was Born again on the rampage, forcing a save before it was eventually cleared, and of course that meant that they were still searching for something to give them a bit of insurance in this one, Central Soccer World, as it went up the other end, forcing a goal there, it seemed, but that one was ruled out in the end. Central Soccer World continuing to press. Born again finding some space behind the Kunupia FC defense, that time thwarted by their goalkeeper, and they really continue to come forward, driving forward relentlessly against Kunupia FC, a team which previously in this competition seemed to really have their ducks in a row, but they struggled last evening, coming away with a 1-0 defeat. Central Soccer World winning that one.
In the second match, the Terminix Lahokata Rangers took on AC Port of Spain. It was a really interesting match. There the Rangers coming forward, and that was the opening goal there, scored by Kadeem Corbin in the 51st. Apologies. Really a good strike there to put them in front. AC Port of Spain came the other way.
AC Port of Spain continuing to try to find something, and of course that goal that we saw earlier was actually scored by Daniel David. That was the second one to put Lahokata Rangers 2-0 up on their home ground, but AC Port of Spain continued coming forward, trying, and this I believe was the item scored by Sadale McLean, last week's hat-trick hero for AC Port of Spain, as they tried to rally to come back against the top team, Terminix Lahokata Rangers. That goal scored there by McLean in the 67th minute, and they continued to try the visiting, so to speak, team from the West Side, AC Port of Spain. This one would really and truly come down in the end to the defense and the goalkeeping on either side before the home team, Terminix Lahokata Rangers, walked away with a quite comfortable 2-1 win that sees them remain sitting comfortably at the top of the Ascension tournament standings, despite the best efforts of Che Benny and company for AC Port of Spain. And of course this one really entertained all gathered from start to finish. The home team continuing to press and then eventually coming away with that 2-1 win.
Yeah, really good showing from the Rangers, despite playing one of the unformed teams in the tournament. ACPOS, of course, with those back-to-back wins between one of the teams in action this afternoon, Moruga FC. Now it's time to take a look at how these teams stand in the Ascension League as we head into the final couple games of this first round. Before that, though, we'll listen to the interviews before this match from players from Deportivo PF and Moruga FC.
That Moruga no walkovers.
Derby, I like the way you put that. You know, going into this match, you know, two southern teams, deep south, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah,
I guess, you know, how is your team, especially for a young unit? How is that team, you know, getting ready for the challenge?
Well, really and truly, we just seen it as everybody winning their own battles. We bounce up these players from time to time. We played on several teams alongside the Deportivo players, so we're looking for bragging rights. We want to walk the streets of San Fernando, Moruga, even Point Fortin, and be proud and say, yo, we beat all you. That we want to do.
And my last question to you, you know, going into today's match to end the first round of this competition, how have you personally found the experience playing in this Ascension tournament?
Well, this is not my first time. I played the last edition of the tournament in Division 2. It's a contrast because I was a winner the last time, and this time the different end of the table. But in football, it's just about experience and trying to cope and learn from it. And in my closing remarks, I'd like to say we're coming out here and we're looking to get a positive result.
All the best to Moruga FC today.
I thank you.
Deportivo Point Fortin today, represented by Jordan Riley, going into this match to end the round. You know, and of course you're building steam. 3 wins in the last 3. What's the mindset going in today?
No, well, you know, we're going to keep the same mindset going into this game today. You know, we playing Moruga today. People will say, you know, that they are at the bottom of the table, but we are not seeing it as that. We are seeing them as a team that is in the tournament. And you know, the football is played on the day when the referee blows the final whistle, then we can say, well, yes, we won. But at the end of the day, we're going out there today to get the same fight that we have been given through the last few games, and you know, looking to come out victorious.
The run that we've seen Deportivo on climbing to 4th after a not so great start, you know, built on a foundation of great defense, several shutouts, you know, tell me about that, and I guess how the setup is really geared towards keeping clean sheets.
Well, you know, as coach always said, they can't win if they don't score, so you know, we really work hard on defense, because you know, that is a very important part of the game, because if the forwards are getting the job done, the defender just have to, you know, make sure and keep the shutout, as you said. So you know, we're going into the game today to really keep that clean sheet run going.
This team has one of, if not the most experienced midfield in Pacheco, Houghton Hector, Nathaniel Garcia. Some of them joined a little bit later on. What's it like for a player like yourself, you know, playing alongside these legends of local football?
Yes, well, you know, I must say, you know, they really help us in training. You know, they make sure and push us in training. You know, they are the strict old boys of the team. You know, on this game they always go out and, you know, they give their all. So at the end of the day, you know, we as the younger support for them, we have to just, you know, take the instructions that they are giving us and put it out on the field.
Finally, the round comes to an end today, but obviously it's a chance to get 3 points for Deportivo and possibly move a little bit higher up the table. Where do you see this team going if they get that momentum going into the second round? Where do you see this team finishing?
Well, you know, I really see us finishing, if not in the top 3 first on the table, because at the end of the day, you know, as you said, we're building momentum. And if it comes down to goal difference, today's a day that, you know, we're going out there to really, you know, raise the goal tally. So I must tell Moruga, look out, we come in.
All right, thank you very much, Jordan Riley, Deportivo Point Fortin.
An ominous warning there from Jordan Riley, telling Moruga to look out on this afternoon's match at the Arima Velodrome. But now let's take a look at the standings just to see where these teams are. We have a top 4 team playing a team at the very bottom of the table. Those standings will be here shortly. At the top, very top, Terminix Locator Rangers on 23 points. Defense Force are second on 20. Police FC are third on 18. And today's first team, Deportivo PF, are fourth on 14 points. Kunupi FC are 5th on 13, ACPOS 6th on 10, Real Westfort are 7th on 9, Central FC are 8th on 7, Central Soccer World or CSW are 9th on 5, and Moruga FC are at the bottom. They haven't been able to get any points yet. Hopefully they can do that this afternoon, Jassy.
Well, both teams have sounded the warning towards each other this afternoon, and to that effect, here's how they'll approach this afternoon's encounter as we'll take a look at the starting lineups for either team, Deportivo Point Fortin as well as Moruga FC, here at the Arima Velodrome. For Moruga FC, starting up front, Keon Karode, and of course right behind him will be Shane King Akini Kerode on the flanks, and interestingly, Ren Hector, whose brother Houghton will be on the Point Fortin bench this afternoon. Of course, they'll also have Joshua Ragu and Jesnel Dunton, who we heard from earlier in that midfield. Tyrese Reefer, Akil Phillip, Carl Spencer, and Kervel Turner, Darren Moore will be the defense, and Kervel Turner returns in goal. We saw him receiving a red card, which was eventually rescinded last weekend, and of course rightfully so, by referee Jassy McDonald, who justified it with pointing to a particular rule that has come into effect in local football, or rather in international football, that sort of spares teams what they call the triple punishment of having a player sent off, having a red card shown, as well as having a suspension. Take a look at the Deportivo lineup now. And of course, as always, in goal for them, Marvin Phillip, the captain. Andre Etienne and Ronald Paul will continue their solid defensive partnership. Luke Cornwall also retains his starting position. But last weekend's man of the match, Isaiah Garcia, is out. Jeremiah Keza is in that right fullback position. Martion Watson and Isaiah Hudson will anchor their midfield, while Nathaniel Garcia will play in a more advanced role. And of course, they'll also revamp their wings as well. Ezekiel Keza is in, as well as Jordan Riley, with Akinola Gregory leading the line. We'll take a quick break and return with kickoff here in the Ascension Tournament of Trinidad and Tobago this Saturday afternoon. Deportivo Point Fortin taking on Moruga FC.
The situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for a carnival if you'll interview me.
But how can you defend one shot, one kill?
Some final inspiration for both teams there in the huddles there at the center of this pitch, waiting the start of this match. There is a buzz in the air from both sides. Moruga, of course, have it all to do against one of the tougher teams in the tournament, a team really on the rise, Jassy.
Certainly, Jovan. Of course, we look to see with bated breath how both of these teams will take on this affair. One thing I am pleased to see is a little bit more greenery on the surface than in previous weeks. Hopefully it lends itself to some neat play here at the Arima Velodrome, as we see referee Keelan Bacchus just about gets us on the way. Deportivo Point Fortin in their orange and blue with a bit of a splash of white in there as well. Moruga FC, they'll be attacking from left to right on your screen, and they'll be donned in that unmistakable fluorescent and white uniform with royal blue socks. This is a throw-in now for Deportivo on that right side, and it's taken by one of their incoming players this week, Jeremiah Keza. So they've taken the opportunity against a team, Deportivo Point Fortin, that has conceded 37 goals already in this competition, to sort of give other players a look in, hoping that they can get the job done against the team that currently sits at the very bottom of the Ascension tournament standings.
A plus for Moruga is that they don't have to play what was a very strong Deportivo PF team that we saw last weekend. And here they are making the best of their opportunity so far. Good looking hustle there from the Moruga team. Depor able to clear. Not for long. It's a bit of a tussle in the midfield.
Here they come along that right side with Ezekiel Keza. Ahead of him is their point man, Akinola Gregory. But he earns a corner kick as instructed by Keelan Bacchus. A double last week for that man on screen, Akinola Gregory. A first half double as well, and he'll be hoping to have similar fortunes today as he also scored that double and was able to get some minutes on the bench, having done his task dutifully.
Yeah, it started very quickly last week, did Gregory. He'll be hoping to do the same. This corner comes in, eludes everyone. It's at the last post. Back on top with Garcia.
Slipping it towards the back post where Andre Etienne had come forward, but it's well defended, and here come now Moruga FC. They'll be mindful that in their 4 wins this season, Deportivo Point Fortin, they've kept 4 clean sheets in all of their 4 wins. So Moruga certainly will have a time of it trying to break this defense down. In fact, Deportivo has only been breached 7 times in this competition, while they've scored 14 goals themselves. So they're not among the highest goal scorers in terms of from a team's perspective in this competition, but certainly they know how to keep clean sheets, and that will be crucial to anything they do today by way of trying to steal 3 points. Here they come now. It's a good ball forward, and this is Ezekiel Kiza, and there we have our opening goal. Kervil Turner slow to advance, and Kiza picked his spot, rolled it in, and just like that, in the 4th minute, as they did last weekend as well, Deportivo Point Fortin have gone 1-0 up.
Yeah, very quick start for Depor PF. They did say they came here to score goals, and they're off the mark in about the same minutes as they did last weekend when they racked up a 4-0 win. A little too easy for Moruga's liking, this ball to Keza. Yards of space in front of him, and he just rolls it past Kervil Turner in the Moruga goal. Neat finish. Good start for Depor PF. Signs maybe to be worried by this Moruga team.
So already, even without the experience of Andre Pacheco and Houghton Hector in that starting lineup, even Isaiah Garcia storming forward as we've come to enjoy in this competition from his right wing-back position. Deportivo Point Fortin so far comfortable and able to take an early lead in this one. Certainly they'll be looking to increase that tally as this 90 minutes progresses. Here they come along the left is Justin Cornwall. Ahead of him is Riley and the goal scorer Keza. We can't quite get it under control, and it's back now to Turner in goal for Moruga. Good distribution. And this is a good ball over the top, releasing Akini Larode. Controls it, swings it. It's a bit heavy, but it's coming now to that man arriving on the opposite side, Shane King. He blasts it over bar. So Moruga FC able to come forward despite conceding early on. A quite encouraging attack, that one.
Yeah, good signs from them. They haven't dropped their heads despite going down to what is their 30th goal in this tournament so far. They will have to focus against this Depor PF team, and as it's sometimes said, the best way to defend is to continue attacking.
Ronald Paul brings it forward for Deportivo. Surveys his options. That was aimed at Kiza. Free kick to Moruga FC for that foul on Akini Larode. Was body checked off of it by Martion Watson. Carl Spencer can't quite pick out fluorescent green. They quickly win back possession before they lose it again. And here comes now the other Kiza brother, Jeremiah. He's continuing his run. Can't get it back from his brother Ezekiel. Moruga to come forward again. And already a clear intent to try to get their wingers in, particularly Larode, who we've just seen on the ball. And here comes now coming out from the back. Darren Moore had overlapped and tried to dupe referee Bacchus into perhaps a soft and generous penalty decision, which he stayed clear of.
Yeah, eagle-eyed the referee there to see that there was no real malice in that tackle, but here come PF again. That one is cleared by Akil Phillip. It will be a Depot PF throw.
This is Andre Etienne. Plays it forward to this is Kizano. Good ball looking for Gregory, and Turner had to come. He had to be sure. Gregory just perhaps waiting a bit too long for the ball to drop. Perhaps should have attacked it.
Yeah, Gregory has really looked sharp in the last two matches. He was the one, of course, that opened the scoring and scored a double before the half hour, just on the half hour mark last weekend. He'll be hoping to get on the score sheet again. It's Jordan Riley too in your picture. He sounded the alarm earlier to Moruga from Depot PF.
Moruga captain Carl Spencer. Pass is cut out by Paul. It's with Nathaniel Garcia now, but he loses out. Here's Ren Hector. Joshua Ragu now looks wide, but it's cut out by Jeremiah Kiza, and then a wild swing there by the Moruga player, driving that ball long after the whistle had gone into the midriff of Watson. And already the players who had signaled that they'll make the most of this Deep South derby, as you put it, Jovan, showing their intent.
Yeah, PF has been all business in the weeks that have preceded this match. And against a team like Moruga, they are looking to continue that good form. Of course, goal difference is something that has to be considered, given the large score lines we've seen in recent weeks.
Someone who can certainly affect that 4-point fortune is the man in the thick of it now, Gregory. And in the foreground there, the player down is Jordan Riley. He seemed to be struck as he tried to get through.
Seems to be okay though. No hard feelings. Although he's being encouraged from the stands to go prone by some of the fans. Very vociferous Depot PF support, and this corner comes in from Garcia. It's cleared but only momentarily for Moruga. Back in by PF.
Good ball in by Nathaniel Garcia that time. Cut out partially before Moruga FC able to get it closer towards half line, and now they are on a counter attack now. LaRode can't keep it in close to his body. And that'll be a free kick now to Deportivo for a late challenge there by LaRode. He seemed to be off to the races, just couldn't quite get the ball down on the turf, and that allowed the Deportivo defense to have some time to get back. Here they are now. Watson playing this one through to Keza. Turner thinks about coming, changes his mind because Akil Phillip had it well covered, going across there from his central position, and earns his team a throw-in. Here now is Etienne as Deportivo try to come forward again. Garcia, good turn. Taken off of it now by Joshua Ragu. This is Spencer. Can't quite get that one forward to Akini LaRode. Seems to be the focal point of their attack in these early minutes. Moruga FC, they've tried to get the ball wide and as quickly as possible to the number 15 on screen. That's Akini LaRode, as quickly as possible. It's a good cross coming in there from Jeremiah Keza. Just too strong for all Deportivo players in attendance, including young Jordan Riley.
Yeah, Akini LaRode, as you said before, would have his work cut out for him on this right-hand side. He seems to be attracting most of the Moruga outlet passes, and will so become the focal point of the Depot PF defense. Though this Moruga side are showing a little more spirit than we've seen in previous weeks. They're getting to those tackles, leaving a foot in at certain points, trying to unnerve, shake Depot PF, despite being a goal down.
Yeah, Jovan, I quite agree. They've been a lot more assertive than in previous fixtures in this Ascension tournament. And that's not taking anything away from what we've seen of them. We've previously observed that they tend to really make a nuisance of themselves in the early exchanges of these matches before going soft, leading to them conceding some 37 goals before today. 38 now with Ezekiel Keza's 4th minute opener for Deportivo Point Fortin. Here he is again trying to link with his brother. Actually, this is Gregory trying to go it alone. He's cut out. And again, here come Moruga with another chance to counter. Keon LaRode is pointing into the space. He's bypassed instead, and this one is aiming towards Akini LaRode. He can't quite get there.
So as you observed, LaRode just peeling off. He knows what he has to do to get forward to really help this Moruga team find a way back into this match. Hopefully he can keep it up, as we spoke about before, for the full 90 minutes, which is required in this Ascension tournament, especially given the caliber of teams that have been finding themselves at the top of the table. Depot PF among them.
Here they come again. Watchful defending there by Moruga. Deportivo, they'll try again. This is Ezekiel Kiza. That pass is stamped out, but only picked up by Watson. Nathaniel Garcia is in there with real intent. And they win it back. This is Riley. Can't get it to Isaiah Hudson. It's back with Turner, who punts it forward for Moruga. On the chase is Shane King. Won't get there before Etienne recycles it to Marvin Phillip, and now Watson drops deep and gets it wide to Jeremiah Kiza. Here he is again, Kiza. Forward to Ezekiel. Gregory holds his run, but the flag on that far side goes up. That's Nathalia Williams, right in line. And it looks suspicious from the time the pass was played.
Yeah, Gregory a little too eager to get forward there. Maybe a bit eager to get among the goals again in these early stages. Good spot by referee AR1 Williams. AR2 Williams, I'm reminded. Skirvel Turner putting it upfield.
Free kick to Deportivo. Martian Watson tripped up just inside the opposition half. Etienne was interested in playing it quickly. Unsuccessfully so, but he still will see his team with a throw-in on that far side. Urged by goalkeeper Marvin Phillip to take his time. No need to rush, already with a 1-0 lead, approaching 20 minutes gone. And Deportivo Point Fortin really and truly in charge, in control in this one, despite Moruga FC managing to come forward. They've not threatened Michael Phillips' goal just yet. Garcia now will look far side towards Riley. Picked up by Cornwall. So all the way back to Paul, and he uses the option that Phillips provides.
Yeah, very composed so far from Depot PF. Even in the final third, they're not rushing it. They're looking for the spearman, prodding into those spaces. They were also very composed last weekend when they ran out 4-0 winners. So it is to be expected.
We've noted, Jovan, that both these teams have taken the opportunity nearing or coming to the end of this round to switch things up a bit. How do you feel Moruga has been able to cope in the opening 20 minutes?
I feel the pressure has been on for Moruga. They, of course, down a goal. But they've been able to soak up some of that pressure and mount a couple good-looking, positive attacks. I think if they continue, or if they can continue this throughout the match, they should possibly find some silver linings in this match. They do need it very much so. This ball comes over to the road, and that is very audacious, very athletic from the winger.
Very ambitious. Certainly, I think he could count himself fortunate not to be called for a high boot, as the player there sticking his head in briefly was Justin Cornwall. Deportivo bring it forward now. This is the goal scorer, Keza. Ezekiel gets it to Jeremiah Keza, and his cross is too strong for Jordan Riley, who was the closest to it. And yeah, I do agree with the fact that this incarnation of the Moruga FC team seems to be a little bit more resilient despite trailing 1-0. As we get a look there at the team chasing Lohakata Rangers in this competition. The Defence Force, they are up next. Here's Watson now trying to slip in Kiza again. Just too much on it. And he is guilty of a foul on goalkeeper Turner. But I think Deportivo Point Fortin might want to tighten the screws at this stage. 20 minutes gone. They've gotten a feel for what Moruga FC might offer this afternoon. And they certainly want to be a bit more assertive, a bit more authoritative against this team, and not want to be too complacent as we near the completion of exactly a quarter of this match.
Yeah, they won't want to let this opportunity slip. The other teams in the chase for the title have done what they had to do against this team. Defence Force, who are waiting in the wings for the second match, of course, took a meaty victory off of them in the very recent past.
This is a good ball through by Nathaniel Garcia, but it's ushered out by an alert Akil Phillip. The man chasing it down was Isaiah Hudson on screen now.
But even with these, let's say, second team players or players not normally in the starting lineup, I think Depot PF do look the better side. They do look like they are going to approach this game in the same spirit as they have before. Seems to be a kind of one band, one song movement throughout this group. Even the younger players do have a bit of that urgency that is needed at this level. A bit too urgent there was Isaiah Hudson. Just attempting that switch. Ball goes into touch for a Moruga through.
So ever since Ezekiel Keza shook the bag in the 4th minute of play, we've not seen much by way of goal-mouth activity from either side. Kerwell Turner in the Moruga FC goal has had to make one or two fairly straightforward interventions, but nothing has looked too threatening on either side's behalf. And so the scores remain: Deportivo Point Fortin 1, Moruga FC 0.
And it all goes well for Moruga. They haven't had as much to deal with, but they really do need to make more of their forays into the Depot PF half.
Speaking of foray, this is Deportivo coming forward now. Good spell of play. It's with Riley now playing it inside to Gregory. Gets it back, Riley, and tries to go from distance. Perhaps he saw his name in the headlines. Certainly the outcome would not reflect same.
Yeah, Jordan Riley, Depot PF's messenger this evening, hoping to add to what he was the harbinger for. They do want to find the back of this net desperately. They know that as the season wears on, small margins will separate the teams that top this league.
In the meantime, Moruga FC able to come forward again, as we've seen, but just that time, Joshua Ragu let down by his first touch, allowing Deportivo to come away with it, and they come forward again. Along this right side, this is Jeremiah Keza. Martian Watson wants it, gets it now. And the Keza brothers linking to good effect so far. Jeremiah will Bring it all the way back to Nathaniel Garcia. And they will try another route, seeking to get in behind this Moruga FC defense. This is Watson playing a pass directed out to Riley, but it's cut out by Darren Moore. And now it's with Paul to his defensive partner, Etienne. Picked up now by Isaiah Hudson in good range. He'll have a go. At that time, seemed to be lacking conviction himself as he lined up that shot. The result is there to be seen, and the way it flew over the bar, he didn't seem too confident taking on that shot, Jovan.
Yes, he collected it on top of the box. Didn't look like he was thinking of scoring, just right place at the right time, and that shot, not the right finish needed. Although I wanted to get your views, Jassy, on the pace of this match. Depot PF would have played a very frenetic match last weekend at certain points, and this weekend they seem to be playing right into Moruga FC's hands.
Yeah,
a slower pace.
I think it's been pedestrian to say the least so far, and really unexpected by my expectations, by my estimations of this Deportivo team, as we know they can and they do possess the qualities to be able to dictate the tempo of proceedings. They've not done so too well this afternoon, and for this Moruga team it certainly plays into their hands, allowing them to remain in with a sniff in this one. It's not been too difficult for them. They've not had too much chasing to do, and certainly they can maybe set themselves up for a sucker punch, so to speak, in this one. And we see now the Deportivo, the players at the helm of this Deportivo team certainly trying to get that message through. The tempo needs to be picked up. They need to be a little bit more dominating against this team. And already it seems like this is the approach, as a good ball comes across there. Turner gathers it on the second attempt, though. Just for a moment we saw that spark that we've come to expect of this Deportivo team.
Yeah, the message seems to have gotten through to the rest of the team finally. They do seem a bit more interested in pushing this Moruga side.
Here's Riley now picking the pocket of his defender. But that ball would need to be much better to get Kezar through in a similar fashion to the chance he got on 4 minutes that led to the opening goal in this one. As you see Etienne striding forward, trying to keep his momentum going. This is Ezekiel Kezar now, gets past his man. Etienne is all the way up from central defense, rolls it off to Gregory. They're playing with their food, and once again Hudson lacking the conviction, lacking the real desire, I would say, to back that one, which seemed to be a certain goal for Deportivo.
Yeah, Isaiah Hudson with another golden opportunity, this time from a lot closer than before. There you see the disappointment on his face. He knows it.
Andre Etienne had gone storming forward. He won the tackle, started the counter, found himself with the ball at his feet just about 7 or 8 yards out. Unsure what to do with it. He handed it off to Akinola Gregory, who was arriving late before the final attempt by Hudson. Really went a begging there for Deportivo on the stroke of half an hour played in this one at the Arima Velodrome.
Shades of another lanky central midfielder, central defender, striding up the pitch. That time Etienne just unable to factor in the final ball. Moruga lived to tell the tale.
Will Point Fortin be made to pay for that bit of delinquency? The part of their certainly makeshift attack that time, but they just seem to be teasing the frustration of their traveling supporters, who are admonishing them for just dwelling too long on it in these dangerous areas, Jovan. And I think these are the areas where they need to produce that quality to break down a team like Moruga FC, which we know can be resilient. And these are the situations where every bit of your quality and experience needs to shine through.
Yeah, and certainly a more resilient Moruga by the looks of things so far in this match. Depot PF will be wary of letting up all these chances.
That can be counted as yet another. Again, you just simply expect better of players like Nathaniel Garcia from that sort of distance, that sort of range. Perhaps a bit more invention in the attempt from that free kick.
Don't know if it's the changing of the lineup, but Depot do seem a bit flat this afternoon despite their best attempts to G up themselves.
Previously, you'd see the likes of Andre Pacheco, Houghton Hector in the heart of that midfield, sort of dictating play, dictating the tempo, dictating the direction. And they seem to lack that this afternoon. Nathaniel Garcia also usually involved. He's in a more advanced role in the absence of those two players this afternoon, but unable to have the effect. And they could be made to pay. They are made to pay for it. They are asking for this near side official to wave his flag. Instead, he draws for his notepad and he'll pen in Keon LaRode with Moruga FC's equalizing goal here this afternoon at the Arima Velodrome.
Yeah, we've been speaking about it. It's finally come to pass. Marvin Phillip beaten in the 34th minute. The instructions come from the Moruga bench. This is what they wanted. It's great work down the left side. And the target man, Keon LaRode, there to accept it. Marvin Phillips' face tells the whole story. It's 1-1. Deportivo PF versus Moruga FC. Is that game on for you, Jassy?
I think so. I think so. With just over 10 minutes left in this first half, I think Moruga FC will definitely be inviting the advancements of Point Fortin, trying to get a lead going into half-time. But it's ripe for the taking for Moruga FC, because as Point Fortin comes forward, as they become a bit more desperate, it should allow Moruga to find some extra space to exploit and hit on that counter-attack as they've seen intent on doing. They won't get too much success out of play like that. And already you can see Deportivo coming forward in their numbers. This here is Jeremiah Kiza. He gets his cross in, it's stamped away at the near post. Deportivo now with this corner kick. It's Hudson. And again, the quality just lacking in the final ball for Point Fortin. I mean, I don't think it's just the moment for them to be pressing the panic button. They still have a lot of time, certainly a lot of quality in the starting 11 as well on the bench.
Yeah, neither side can really relax. The scoreline as it is now. They have to remain on their toes. but certainly not time to panic.
And that's what you want to see. You want to see that type of fight. Joshua Ragu there getting himself stuck in against Cornwall. They'll have an exchange of words. And Nathaniel Garcia is saying, you know, there's no need really for Cornwall to get involved in that verbal exchange. But I'll bet you in that Moruga 11, that's exactly what they want. They want to rile this Deportivo team up. As said in the pre-match remarks, they'll certainly want to get into these players who they know a fair bit about from that deep south region.
Yeah, and you have to say it's kind of working for Moruga at this point. They're at 1-1. Pressing little mistakes already out of Depot PF. For them, they'll have to be wary of their own mistakes, which have been their downfall for most of this tournament.
There again is that fight, you know, the players willing to get their bodies in the way and invite those niggling little fouls out of Deportivo. That time the man on spot was Shane King, and the guilty party Isaiah Hudson for Deportivo. Here's Moruga FC with a free kick. Is looking again at the back stick. That man who's certainly been their target all afternoon, Akini LaRode, couldn't bring that one under his spell. But not too bad a showing in this first half from him and from, by extension, from his Moruga FC teammates.
Yeah, his work rate has been good. His touches just let him down at certain points, but it's been a good showing so far for him. Certainly look forward to what he can offer this Moruga team going forward.
Intelligent little dummy there by Gregory, but it's well spotted by Carl Spencer, the man wearing the armband for Moruga FC today. It's a Deportivo point forward and throw in. It's with Riley now. And he again wasn't aware that LaRode was on his way back, and we could hear off in the distance the question being asked, what was he waiting on? We are not too sure. Etienne here is caught in possession and forced all the way back.
Yeah, timely questions coming from the Depot PF support. This is not the match they came all this way to see. Credit to Moruga though for frustrating those Point Fortin residents both on and off the pitch.
This is Nathaniel Garcia now trying to inspire them. Gets it into Kizar, the goal scorer. Now it's with Gregory, and his touch again just lets him down, allowing Moruga to clear. Here comes Shane King. Takes his man on, and from a similar sort of position, we saw the equalizing goal coming for Moruga FC. That time, it didn't quite work out. Actually, that's Tyrese Reefer was the man going forward. He's used the opportunity to just run at his opposing player. And here comes the Inquisition, led by no lesser than their captain and the experienced Trinidad and Tobago international, Marvin Phillips. He's probably just quizzing his team as to what's happening, what's bugging you guys today. Why are we playing at such low intensity and allowing this Moruga team to find more joy? Here they are again, just repelling Deportivo at every opportunity. It's all the way back with Nathaniel Garcia. Coming forward now is Martion Watson. Akinola Gregory finds himself in some space. Still can't make enough of it though to get off a final shot before Moruga gets it clear. Once again, player letting it run there was Jesnell.
It's Dunton.
Once again, here comes Point Fortin, repelled once more. Picked up by Garcia. And if you just look at the movement of the Point Fortin team, certainly lacking. And again, there we see it, Moruga FC committing one of those untimely mistakes you spoke of just moments ago, Jovan, and the player committing the foul, Akil Phillip, certainly disappointed with himself as he tripped up Martion Watson. No need to commit the tackle. He was away from goal, a long way away from goal, and heading towards the byline. A rather calm-looking Deportivo Point Fortin bench. I would be as well if Nathaniel Garcia was the man spotting the ball for me on a penalty kick. And this could be the opportunity for them to just reset themselves approaching half-time. If Nathaniel Garcia can put it away, he can. 2-1 to Deportivo Point Fortin in the 43rd minute here at the Arima Velodrome. A goal needed as halftime approaches, and the intensity that this Deportivo team usually would bring, lacking, certainly that goal can serve to pick them up as they approach halftime.
Yeah, we saw the foul there from Phillip and the penalty from Garcia. Two happenings here late in this first half that will set us on our way for the second half.
Just as always, here come Moruga FC looking for Akini LaRoe down this right-hand side.
Yeah, Depo PF really having to work hard and toil for that. And then eventually Moruga giving them the opportunity to undo all the good work that they've done up to this point in the match. Still a lot of football to play, as you observed earlier.
And Moruga still find themselves managing to get themselves into good positions. That time a foul there committed. Desperate challenge coming in by that man, Keon LaRoe, the goal scorer. Justly shown a yellow card in this 45th minute rather.
Yeah, nothing much in it there. We see the two players enjoying some friendly conversation after that foul. It was deemed necessary by the striker to kind of keep Point Fortin at bay. They've certainly shown fairly good positional discipline, have Moruga this afternoon. Defending in numbers. But here comes the breakdown. And well swept up there by the captain, Carl Spencer.
Fourth official, Comey Nicholas, will indicate 2 minutes additional at the end of this first period. Certainly by what we've seen, I think that's 2 minutes well justified. Certainly not at all the quality expected when we see Deportivo come out in this Ascension tournament. They've been behind the pace, they've lacked intensity, and while I won't say they're lucky to go in leading at 2-1, certainly I would say that they have not deserved a lead in this encounter by the balance of play.
Yeah, Depo will argue that they are supposed to be here, but have to work for everything you get in this Ascension tournament. Certainly being made to toil by this Moruga team.
Yeah, but here they come again, Deportivo, and if they can go in with a 2-goal advantage, 3-1, as they were attempting to do on that occasion, certainly they would be happy with themselves. Because it's not at all been the inspired performance they would expect of themselves. Meanwhile, here comes Moruga again. Good turn there. Rolling his man was Akini Larode and gets it across to Ren Hector. It's wider now with Tyrese. He beats his man and goes in rather belatedly, certainly over-aggressively, but all's well that ends well, as we see him and Andre Etienne sharing some pleasantries after that play. Referee Keelan Bacchus goes over just to ensure that there's not too much malice, and there isn't really, as at halftime these Deportivo Point Fortin fans aren't too pleased, but certainly they'll be relieved that their team holds a 2-1 advantage over Moruga FC. It's halftime in this Ascension tournament match here at the Arima Velodrome. We'll be back with highlights.
Get the nation's leading newspaper on the go by downloading the Digital Guardian app on your iOS or Android devices now and enjoy our special introductory subscription offer now on. The nation's first and best digital paper in an easy-to-read digital format. The Digital Guardian, Trinidad and Tobago's fastest growing, most subscribed and most read digital paper. Stay on top with the market leader and don't miss a beat in today's fast-paced world. Go to Apple Store or Google Play and download.
So it's halftime in this Ascension Tournament of Trinidad and Tobago encounter between Deportivo Point Fortin and Moruga FC from the Arima Velodrome this Saturday afternoon. And really and truly it was an underwhelming half, especially in the context that Deportivo Point Fortin offered in as early as the 4th minute when Ezekiel Kizar slipped in and put them 1-0 ahead. It promised to really and truly be a schooling for Moruga FC, but somehow they kept themselves in it. Brave goalkeeping that time by Turner, and even braver acrobatics by one of their main men in that first half, Akini Larode. Point Fortin continued to come forward, but just were lacking that bit of quality to break down this team any further. Isaiah Hudson with that attempt, and then Keza himself on the march, getting this ball across to Andre Etienne. Some indecisiveness, one would say, before Hudson screwed his shot above the bar, and he himself couldn't believe that he didn't make it 2-0. It would come back to haunt them, as along the left side, Moruga FC attacked through Tyrese Reefer. He was able to play a great ball across goal, just in that no man's land area where Marvin Phillip, despite getting a left hand to it, could not stop it from landing at the feet of Kieran Larode, and he equalized for Moruga FC at 1-1. From there, the battle continued. In this one, a deep south derby, as my co-commentator Jovan Ravello put it, with all the makings of such. Some feisty play, and certainly referee Keelan Bacchus able to come in and intervene when necessary. It led to this point. Martion Watson upended in the penalty area by the Moruga FC defender Akil Phillip, and Nathaniel Garcia put away the spot kick from 12 yards out, putting Deportivo Point Fortin back into a lead in this one, and they would see out the remainder of the first half at 2-1, and that's how things stand here at halftime in this Ascension tournament fixture at the Arima Velodrome. We'll take a quick break and come back with more.
situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for the carnival if you'll interview him, eh?
But how can you defend one shot, one kill?
What? You want me to throw a pillow at him?
I didn't say that.
No, well, if a roach jumps in front of you now, what will you do?
Run.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
What is television? It seems like a simple question, but television means different things to different people. We in the Caribbean are very unique people. That's why we need unique television. Welcome to M&E TV, where we showcase our lives in the Caribbean. M&E TV is about us, the special way we talk, the way we walk, dance, move. M&E TV is about me. It's about you. M&E TV is about our amazing Caribbean experience.
It's here at a newsstand near you. It's the Guardian Lucky Number Draw. Your daily chance to win $1,000 instantly when you purchase the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. It's quick and easy for your chance to win. A unique number will be printed at the back of each Guardian newspaper daily. Purchase your Guardian newspaper, then join JW for the daily Guardian Lucky Number Draw, the winning number on just before the nightly news on CNC3. If the number drawn matches the unique number at the back of your Guardian newspaper, then $1,000 is yours. Just bring the winning Guardian newspaper and a picture ID to Guardian Media Limited. You have until 3 p.m. the following workday to claim your prize. It's the Guardian Lucky Number Draw. Your daily chance to win. NLCB approved.
Are you at home feeling isolated? Don't worry, we will bring the world to you. The nation's first and leading newspaper, the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, is extending a special home delivery for 30 days for just $99. Yes, for just $99, you can get the TNT Guardian newspaper, the fastest growing and most read newspaper, most credible and highest reader value, and voted tops for best publication by more readers than any other newspaper, delivered to your home. It's easy to subscribe to our home delivery. Simply call us now at 225-4465 extension 4274 and speak to one of our customer service representatives, and we will bring the world to you.
We are the fourth estate. We educate, we inform, and we hold those in authority, politicians, business leaders, and others, to account.
Connecting the public to the truth drives our purpose here at CNC3. When we stand behind a desk every single night, a lot of people don't know that we're a huge part of the news process. We eat, breathe, and sleep news. And that reflects in everything that we do as a news team.
Every day we tell the stories of people's journey through life. Stories of their success, stories of their sadness, stories of their grief, stories of their glory. We're the mirror in which society looks at itself.
When a storm is coming, everyone always thinks worst case scenario, and sometimes it may just be a brief shower or two. It's not always going to be a green veil level event. So it's important to have the most credible and accurate information coming from a verified source.
Welcome, you're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3.
Volleyball filmmakers, producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio space with green screen, video wall, cyclorama, and more, look no further. GM Labs is here to make your dreams a reality. Located in the heart of Port of Spain on St. Vincent Street, GM Labs is your one-stop shop for all your creative needs with over 2,800 square feet to work with. Take your creative concept to the final product at GM Labs. Give us a call or WhatsApp or message us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at GM Labs TT.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Help us tell your stories.
We all see the negatives happening here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Let us begin the conversation
with inspiring content.
Targeting change.
Inspire TT. Be the change.
The Digital Guardian launches this all-new upgraded Digital Guardian app. This all-new upgraded Digital Guardian app gives you live news on the go. Now get real-time news faster with notifications free of charge to keep you informed on breaking stories. Customize your news feed with only articles you are interested in for easier, comfortable reading and with same convenient access to the digital paper. Visit the iOS App Store and Google Play Store to download or update the Digital Guardian app, the most credible news in TNT. Already have an account? Simply tap on the resource subscription button in settings to sign in. It's a free update.
Make sure you have yourself a great invest week by viewing The Boss Report every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. during CNC3's The Morning Brew. You'll get sound financial advice, whether you're a new or experienced investor, when you view The Boss Report. CNC3, covering your world.
Get the nation's leading newspaper on the go by downloading the Digital Guardian app on your iOS or Android devices now and enjoy our special introductory subscription offer now on. The nation's first and best digital paper in an easy-to-read digital format. The Digital Guardian, Trinidad and Tobago's fastest growing, most subscribed and most read digital paper. Stay on top with the market leader and don't miss a beat in today's fast-paced world. Go to Apple Store or Google Play and download now.
There's a taste in the air everywhere. Feel the vibe cause it's something to share. Smooth, rich and creamy, you find it right here. Makes you smile, relax a while, it's fun and good cheer. Ooh, enjoy every scoop. Ooh, every taste will get you hooked. We have flavors that you love, a combination special. Come along, enjoy your treats. This is Uncle Pete's.
The situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for the carnival if you'll interview me.
But how can you defend one shot, one kill?
What? You want me to throw a pillow at him?
I didn't say that.
No, well, if a roach jumps in front of you now, what will you do?
Run.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
Welcome back to the Arima Velodrome for this Saturday afternoon fixture. The first of a doubleheader in the Ascension tournament of Trinidad and Tobago. We're getting ready for second half action between Deportivo Point Fortin and Moruga FC. And it's the aforementioned team, Deportivo Point Fortin, leading 2-1. Their goals scored in the first half by Ezekiel Kiza in the 4th minute and Nathaniel Garcia from the penalty spot in the 43rd. It certainly allowed them to breathe a little bit easier after the end of the first 45, because temporarily Moruga FC had pegged them back at 1-1 after Keon LaRode netted for them in the 34th minute. It sets things up nicely for the second half, where we hope to see the Point Fortin team certainly produce the type of quality that is expected of them, whereas this Moruga FC team, more resilient, a more resilient version of themselves than we've seen in previous weeks in this competition, continue to press forward and perhaps even create an upset here in the second half at the Arima Velodrome. I am Jassy Marik, once again joined by co-commentator Jovan Ravello as we gear up for second half action. One final word of inspiration, perhaps even admonishment from the Deportivo Point Fortin captain, Marvin Phillip. Certainly he tried to inspire his team in the first period to really little or no avail at all. On the other side, Moruga FC hoping, perhaps even wishing on a prayer, that they can pick up their first points in this year's tournament. They're pinned to the bottom position in this competition and certainly have had a tough time of it in weeks previous, conceding no fewer than 37 goals before today's match while scoring just 5. But they've already conceded twice more and scored once more in this afternoon's encounter, the second half of which is about to get going on the whistle of referee Keelan Bacchus. Makes his final checks. And there we see Houghton Hector, the lone substitution made by Point Fortin in the halftime interval. Just taking the opportunity to have a juggle before referee Bacchus asks him to settle it and sends them on their way again. Second half here from the Arima Velodrome. As mentioned, Houghton Hector, the veteran Trinidad and Tobago midfielder, has made his entry, and the player going off was Akinola Gregory, their usual talisman. He'll call it an afternoon as Hector plays in a more advanced role than we've become accustomed to seeing him, but in the modern game they call it the false 9 position, and he'll try to make his impact from there. Here comes Hector now for Deportivo Point Fortin, well marshaled by Carl Spencer, the Moruga FC captain that time, before Kervel Turner completed the mop-up. Here now is Joshua Ragu, plays it back to Akio Phillip. But it's stolen off of the feet of Shane King by Nathaniel Garcia, who's trying to play Hector in before it's booted clear. And already a bit of a relaxed feet there, it seems, for on the Moruga 11, which is good to see, but certainly at that time it could have been to their detriment. It's good to see that Moruga FC, their players have been able to compose themselves. As mentioned, it's not been the best tournament for them, conceding as many as 11 goals in one encounter, 8 in another, for a total of 37 before today. It could be more. They've already been scored on twice. At that time, conceding a free kick just at the edge of their own area. as Martion Watson came flying in for Deportivo Point Fortin. Once more he was tripped up, just as he was for that penalty awarded in the 42nd minute, eventually converted by Nathaniel Garcia to put Deportivo back ahead 2-1. This time around though, it's a bit further out than 12 yards. But we've seen players like Houghton Hector make 30 yards look like 12, sometimes even 6. Can he produce something similar from this free kick attempt? He's lining himself up. Decides against it, instead rolls it to Garcia, who gets it out to Jeremiah Kizan. Now it's with Hudson. So an attempted training ground set piece foiled. Here come Deportivo again. Good skill there by Jeremiah Kizan. Gets it to his brother Ezekiel. Recycles it to Martion Watson and now to Garcia. It's with Hector now, and he'll try to pick out that far top corner unsuccessfully, so it's only a goal kick to Moruga FC.
Looking to factor as we see the Garcia brothers, all of them in attendance. It's Judah, Levi,
and the former Shiva Boys standouts such as Tyrell, Papi, Manuel, second from right, and goalkeeper Denzel Smith as well. So the Point Fortin boys have come up north today.
Certainly all capable, more than capable footballers themselves. The AEK Athens pairing of Judah and Levi. Papi showing his talent and certainly audacity formerly in the SSFL. In good company this afternoon.
Certainly Jovan. And I must say, well played. Well played by Houghton Hector as well to Jeremiah Kiza. It's with Jordan Riley now, who's switched flanks. Looking for the run ahead by Kiza. He certainly know Isaiah Garcia, but certainly showed his willingness to get forward on more than a few occasions in the first half, and continuing 5 minutes into the second as well.
Yeah, open the scoring. The other Keza brother.
So far, just 5 minutes, just about 6 minutes now gone in this second half. Deportivo Point Fortin, they've made a substitution, but they've not looked too dominant, and that time they could have been sucker punched yet again. Really good work once more by Tyrese Reefer on this left-hand side and getting a whipped cross in, which Keon LaRode was able to get ahead to, but not sufficiently to put it past Marvin Phillip a second time in this encounter.
Yeah, we've spoken about Akini LaRode, but certainly man on the other side, Tyrese Reefer, very big overlap threat. That's a great ball in a great area. Too bad Moruga couldn't get onto it. Would have really upped the tempo in this match, increased the tension. Here comes the corner.
It's turned away at the near post, but they'll try again. Moruga with another ball floated in, this time again trying to pick out someone in that fluorescent top, unable to do so, and instead it's going to be a goal kick to Marvin Phillip and Deportivo Point Fortin. They give it away, and this is a shot from way out by Ren Hector, so he's trying to show that he has the Hector blood running through his veins. That time, unable to trouble Marvin Phillip. And he's spent the time since apologizing profusely to his teammates ahead of him.
Hector's not made equal on that occasion, but good enough sighter for him. So Moruga threw into the box.
Lance to Ren Hector again, trying to play the exchange with Shane King, and he weren't communicating telepathically as sometimes necessary in this beautiful game. Here's Isaiah Hudson driving Point Fortin forward. Option stays left and right. He goes inside instead. Hector wants it, won't get it. Bypasses him in favor of Ezekiel Keza, the goal scorer. Gets it back now. Hudson pokes this one to Jordan Riley on this near side. And just unable to square it for Hector, who was lining up. Tenacious work there by the former Trinidad and Tobago midfielder. Gets it back to Riley and assumes a position on the penalty spot as Riley goes to work on Jesnil Dunton. Still there, Riley. Blocked by Akil Phillip before Dunton is forced to put it out for a Deportivo Point Fortin corner kick.
And we'll have a substitution here for Moruga. On is Makanaki Rivers. He replaces Shane King. As Depot PF prepare to take corner here on this close side. Looks really well, really good looking corner. This goes into touch. It will be another Depot PF corner, this time from the left side. They take it short. It's here with Garcia. Well won there by Moruga. Very alert to emerge with this ball on the counter.
Yeah, and once again, it's that man, Akini Larode. Tries to get Rivers involved, the substitute. Still working to try to win back possession. Deportivo Point Fortin eventually relieve that pressure now through Hudson. This is a good switch of play. Picking out Cornwall on that far side. He gets around his man with a nutmeg. But Carl Spencer, the Moruga captain, having none of it, stamps that out and clears effectively.
Yeah, good job by Spencer this evening, even when it's gotten frenetic at the defensive end for Moruga. He's been the calm within the storm for them. Often right in the thick of things. Help Moruga clear their lines as they look for a way back into this match yet again.
You know, as Rivers trying to send Akini Larode on his way. He wins it off of Cornwall and his cross is blocked. But it's still alive as far as Moruga is concerned. Good work by Hudson to protect it. Gets it into the feet of Houghton Hector, and a neat exchange by those two. This is good play here from Deportivo Point Fortin. Good approach play. Hudson will have the final say and almost picks out that far corner again. So that is the signs that Deportivo can certainly, in the blink of an eye, snatch this game away from Moruga FC. That time, Isaiah Hudson, Houghton Hector, Jordan Riley, all involved. Before that man, Hudson, had the final shot. He was trying to knuckleball it into that far top corner. But in the end, it didn't dip quite quickly enough as well.
Yeah, much better from Hudson. His previous attempts in the first half left much to be desired, but seems to be finding his range. Houghton Hector, of course, helping them move that ball ever so quickly in what looks to be a false 9 position for him. Helping them really get the momentum. This ball is flat. Goes all the way past the Moruga touchline. It will be a goal kick for them. That man, Curvell Turner, just watching it go by. Certainly more energy in the play for Depot. And it's come from bringing on one of the veterans on the team.
Definitely. As we look at the man on screen there, that's Darren Moore. He's not had a bad shift himself, but that time it seems as though he's spent. I thought he looked a bit winded, but we see the ointment being applied to his knee there by the Moruga medical appointee. And eventually he's able to get to his feet and walk himself off after the application of what I assume to be the ever faithful magic spray.
We see a Depot PF player, Isaiah Garcia, taking the opportunity for some R&R as his team are under the cosh here, so to speak, from a very determined looking Moruga team at the Arima Velodrome.
Nearing an hour played. Scores here: Deportivo Point Fortin 2, Moruga FC 1. And the man we saw a moment ago was Isaiah Garcia, last weekend's man of the match in their 4-0 win. Certainly it looks as though the man who said nobody outworks him has earned himself a deserved rest this Saturday afternoon. Left out of today's match squad. But they've not done too badly without him, and they could do even better here. Martion Watson unselfishly trying to get Keza a second goal. Maybe he should have pulled the trigger himself. But that time, it didn't work out as he envisioned.
Yeah, I don't think they have the luxury of being unselfish at this point. If there are goals to score, I think Depot PF need to go find them. Garcia again, the focus.
I'll tell you what, it's certainly no compliment to Point Fortin that one of those patrons there seem to be less interested in what's happening on the pitch. Taking the opportunity for what I presume to be a selfie. Will the cameras be able to splash Jordan Riley across the front pages, the back pages rather, that time, trying to pick out Hector, and now he is asking for a renewed vigor from his team.
Certainly not living up to his pre-match projections this match so far. Riley hoping that Depot PF doesn't make him a fibber on this occasion. Moruga doing their best.
I seem to recall him warning Moruga to look out as they were targeting this game to enhance their goal difference, Point Fortin. So far they have, but definitely nothing to boast about in the way that Riley would have done ahead of today's fixture. Still time though for him to leave cake on our faces rather than on his own.
We've spoken about these late stages in these Moruga matches where it gets a little ugly. Can go pear-shaped for them. Certainly they are trying to lose that reputation here against one of the tougher teams in the tournament. Themselves being a tough nut to crack.
This is Jeremiah Kizar now. Martion Watson arrives. Can't turn it around the corner. Instead, it's picked up by Makanaki Rivers, and he was just a bit overzealous trying to move Moruga FC forward. Here's Ezekiel Kizar, picks out Hudson beautifully. Shows it to Spencer, then takes it away, gets it out to Riley. Riley approaches his man, that's Dunton. Sturdy defensive work there. Riley still able to hold on to possession for Deportivo. Hudson now, good skill. Turns his man, plays it into Hector, he wants the return, goes for it. Instead it's with Jeremiah Kizar, and again just unable to spot that he had the opportunity and maybe a bit more time, a bit more consideration. Could have seen him putting his side or helping more meaningfully towards his side, going 3-1 up. In the meantime, 2 substitutions being readied by Moruga FC. The man coming out, the ever-willing runner, Akini Larode. In is Atiba Charles, who we saw last week put in a good shift as well. And the other player out, Ren Hector, being replaced by Malik Lewis. So 2 substitutions by Moruga FC and 1 being made here now by Deportivo Point Fortin. Isaiah Hudson leaves the pitch. And the man coming on is Rondell Phillip. So that's a defensive substitution by Deportivo Point Fortin, indicating that perhaps they are thinking already about trying to maintain what they already have. Isaiah Hudson more advanced, replaced by a defensive midfielder in Rondell Phillip.
Yeah, maybe just needing to shore up the defense a little bit, given the threat that Moruga has posed. It's a bit uncharacteristic for them, so you'd understand PF being caught off guard. But they have endured. We're in this 66th minute of the first match of this doubleheader at the Arima Velodrome between Depot PF and Moruga FC. It's Garcia. KZI goes all the way around. Looking again for the other KZI. It's recovered by Rivers. That ball into space. Just not working out for Moruga. Hector switches it over. This ball is with Garcia. It's repelled again by the Moruga team. And again, that outlet pass not finding fluorescent green shirt. Flick from Hector. This ball is shot straight at goal. Straight down Curval Turner's throat. Handles it expertly. So good sequence there from PF, keeping up the pressure on Moruga, keeping them pegged back, penned into their own area. Moruga having to work tirelessly to get out of their own defensive third, as the PF onslaught looks to have begun late in this match. Garcia is wide, he passes this to the last post. It will go into touch for a Moruga goal kick.
Deportivo Point Fortin in the meantime making another substitution. As Jordan Riley has been withdrawn. The player in Omri Baird. This is Baird on it now. Gets away from two. Lines up a shot. Has a crack. And Turner seemed to be sleeping as that one crashes off the upright and somehow stays out. So the injection of intent with the introduction of Baird for Deportivo Point Fortin. That time he lined up his shot and had a go. Turner was scrambling to his right. Somehow it stays out. Moruga FC live to fight another day. Here they come. Tyrese Reefer, he's had a good game, but he's in the wars. Wins it back off of Baird to the outside. Can't get it to Darren Moore, but it's eventually back with Ragu. And Atiba Charles is fighting against Cornwall. Cornwall comes away with it. Unlawfully so, says referee Bacchus. And this is going to be Moruga FC free kick.
Yeah, Depot really needing that injection, as you observed earlier. Baird coming up with the good, almost frame of the goal, turning out to be Curval Turner's best friend on that occasion.
Unfortunately, almost just doesn't count on the football pitch.
And in certain R&B songs as well.
You would know better than I would, Jovan. Strong work there by Justin Cornwall to get Deportivo Point Fortin on the attack. Martion Watson now on the inside has Philip. And Philip has Nathaniel Garcia, who's on the charge now. Almost a free pass into goal. Gets a shot. Good low save there by Turner. It looked to be sneaking in for a second at his near post. But he gets down, he gets a strong left hand to it to turn it around the post and out for a Deportivo Point Fortin corner kick.
So Garcia just switching to this right side from his more central role. He was very effective in last weekend and has been effective in this week. Depot PF coaching staff thinking his energy will be more suited to bombing up this right-hand side as they seek to put some space between Moruga and their own goal.
It's a flat corner kick. Rising highest was Paul before Turner makes a good gather to allay any fears that the Moruga defense might have been facing at that point in time. We'll have more defending to do, not if Tyrese Reefer has anything to say about it. Good play here by Rivers. Gets it back now, Makanaki Rivers. Certainly an unorthodox type of player. But definitely his energy has served them well last weekend, hoping to be of similar effect this time out. Here he is, bounced off of it by Ezekiel Keza. No foul, says referee Bacchus, as the man tracking back on that occasion was Joshua Ragu. So the tackle's coming in a bit late now, Jovan, as this match moves into its final phase. Deportivo Point Fortin still leading, but only by one. 2-1 over Moruga FC.
Yeah, there's reason to remain focused for both sides. Deportivo PF don't want to lose the plot late in this match. Moruga FC are just a goal away from having a closer look at their first points of this tournament, and here they come again. Steaming down the right side. That is foul. Player was impeded.
Assistant referee Natalia Williams points to the scene of the crime, as the player impeded that time was the man with ball in hand, Atiba Charles. Hazy afternoon here at the Arima Velodrome. That Sahara dust off in the background, certainly lingering. But here will be Tyrese Reefer. He already has 1 assist. Can he put this onto a Moruga head? He can't. Instead puts it into the clutches of Marvin Phillip, who sets Nathaniel Garcia going down this right. Jeremiah Kiza is on his inside. Instead he goes toward Hector. Picked up by Ezekiel Kiza. What a shot! My goodness, it came out of absolutely nowhere. Reflected in the reactions around as his brother retreats now, Jeremiah Kiza, but that time it was Ezekiel Kiza, who's also gone in a wider position.
Yeah, a couple ugoods there from people with a .14 heart this evening. Well taken volley, great technique. Looking for that last post. Kevin Turner just really happy to see it go wide. Barely just.
Yeah, that time Ezekiel Kiza trying to get himself onto the score sheet again, and certainly into a highlight reel, as was Makanaki Rivers. That time he's barking at his teammate Reefer on this near side, who seems to be down doing his laces. Certainly wasn't available when Rivers flicked one toward him, but good follow-up work by the man about to take this Moruga corner kick. Easily taken by Marvin Phillip. And once again, as if by clockwork, sets Nathaniel Garcia going. He'll take a more direct approach. Good run there by Hector, but he wasn't able to get that final ball. So again, the final ball seems to have been Point Fortin's downfall this afternoon.
Yeah, and when you have a great passing core like they have, you'll expect better from them in those kind of areas. Certainly a lot more deadly in previous incarnations, on previous occasions, and at previous locations. As Moruga brings on 2 more subs.
So Reefer is one of those players out. So too is their goal scorer. So that's the one that made the goal and the one that scored it, Keon Larode. And the players entering the fray: Jamali Barkley, as well as Deshaun Daniel. Here's Ezekiel Kiza on the outside as Nathaniel Garcia skips over the challenge of Rivers. Recycles it now to Phillip. This is Hector Baird. We already saw that he can hit them from that sort of range, but he gets it instead to Kiza, and he's just unable to find a way past Turner for a second time in this one. Ezekiel Kiza.
Yeah, certainly Turner showing Despite the concession of the 2 goals earlier, it's quality for this Moruga team. So another PF corner comes in. This one is looped up into the air, will go all the way back to Garcia. Plays it short this time. Ball to the last post is cleared. And another volley off the pitch and into touch there from Andre Etienne.
He'll certainly be feeling the piercing gazes of his brothers off to the sidelines. The man just on screen, Nathaniel Garcia. Of course, this match being watched by 2 of his younger brothers, Levi and Judah, back from a season's work in Greece at AEK Athens. It's always good to see returning players, professionals, making time to take a look at what's happening on the domestic scene. That time, Philip perhaps turning their heads as Turner dropped one and it rolled invitingly to him, unable to put it on target. Scores remain unaffected. Deportivo point Fortin 2, Moruga FC 1. Ragu now in the uncomfortable position of heading back towards his goal and reflected in another turnover of possession. This is Nathaniel Garcia now. Ahead of him is Philip, as well as Hector. Hector gets it now. Can't control it, and that man, Makanaki Rivers, doing the defensive duties. Still in it. This time Omri Baird comes away with it for Deportivo. Goes against, bringing Philip in on the play. But Moruga FC, for all of their good work defensively to win it back, can't hold on to it. This time they concede a throw-in.
Yeah, PF have been pressing very high up the pitch, making it excessively difficult for this Moruga team to just stroll out of their defense. It's almost a full field press from PF. They realize the threat held by this Moruga team on the break, doing their darndest to keep them pegged in.
Under 10 minutes remaining in this, the first of a doubleheader in the Ascension tournament from the Arima Velodrome. Deportivo point Fortin still searching for insurance against Moruga FC. They won't get it that time, turning over possession. It's with Ragu now. Gets it to Atiba Charles. He's hounded by Justin Cornwall and just gives it away to Kiza, Ezekiel Kiza that is. Now Hector lines up Nathaniel Garcia. Try to shift past his man, thinks about it. Thinks twice, 3 times. It's with Watson now, back to Garcia. Hector trying to scoop it over the top for Ezekiel Kiza, and Turner picks up possession for Moruga FC. Omri Baird now to Watson. He has Philip. This is Nathaniel Garcia, lines up a shot, but I was never going to get too far past the Moruga back line, and that time the man getting in the block. Right on spot. Malik Lewis. He's feeling the hurt in the unmentionables, but he plays on.
Heart, soul, and other body parts coming into factor for this Moruga team. They have to keep giving themselves a chance. Depot continues to carve out their own chances.
Anderson Phillip now will have a crack. Good looking shot. Confused Turner somewhat. He did enough to keep it out of goal before they get it away from the danger area. This is Phillip again. Watson now to Jeremiah Keza, trying to get it back from his brother. Doesn't. And Moruga can walk it out now. This one is dropped in behind. Trying to invite the runner. Jamali Barclay that time outworked by the Point Fortin defense. Andre Etienne in particular has been stellar. See Martion Watson skillfully sidestepping Barclay's advances. They have it again now. Moruga looking to play it down the channel was Rivers to Barclay. Overhit. And we suspect that Marvin Phillip and the Deportivo Point Fortin defense will use this opportunity to compose themselves, run some time off of the clock. Next up, the defense force taking on Real Westfort United. Images from the warm-up there of the defense force. Good approach play again, Deportivo Point Fortin. It lands to Hector. He tries to go outside of the boot. Shot is blocked. And they remain frustrated. Deportivo. Yeah, now it's Barclay. This is a good ball to Rivers. Making the overlap now is Atiba Charles. Rivers is asking for someone to show. And in the end just settles for giving it to a Deportivo shirt. Not too convinced by the logic there.
Yeah, certainly a little more patience needed by Rivers. He's come on with good energy, but not all of his teammates are on the same page. Can't drag them along. Has to wait on the support.
As Atiba Charles switches the play here now. Cornwall guilty of making the error, and the final shot coming in from Rivers. Allowed to trickle past the upright there by Marvin Phillip. In the meanwhile, Deportivo Point Fortin will make another substitution, and it's Nathaniel Garcia that gets the hook, and coming in is Akeem Redhead.
Yeah, good shift by Garcia, just in the second half, deployed on the right side, running out the excess energy that he may have had. Handing over here as Hector twists and turns to free himself. Shot that eventually comes in. Goes for a corner, despite the attempts by Akil Phillip and Kirval Turner in the Moruga goal.
Redhead, who we just saw entering play, takes charge of this latest Deportivo set piece. Earns them another off the head there of Phillip. Ezekiel Keza jogs over. It's an in-swinging corner. Hector is there. He's one of the shortest men on the field, and that time proved to be just a couple centimeters too short to make contact on the Keza in-swinging corner.
Yeah, a bit of a let-off there for Moruga. Could have been Depo's security goal, their third. but for the lack of vertical prowess from their Depot false 9, Houghton Hector. It's been a lively cameo for Hector as the shot comes in. It's well saved by Kervel Turner in the Moruga goal. Really good work there to keep out the attempt. There's another corner. Turner unable to deal with it again decisively. Depot keeps searching. Ball goes wide from Martion Watson. It'll be a Moruga goal kick. Just about a minute and a half remaining in regulation time. This ball is sent upfield by Spencer. Here's Makanaki Rivers. That's an intelligent ball. Interesting looking ball. Cleared by Marvin Phillip. He gets a little touch of him, did Jamali Barclay. It's going to be a Depot PF free kick. Phillip just brings himself to his feet. Accepts the apology of the Moruga player. I think losing his clean sheet would have hurt a little more than that tackle on that occasion. PF come again. It's given away again by the Moruga backline. Have to retain some possession if they want to release some of this pressure. There's Ragu looking for an option. Goes all the way back to Spencer, captain. Turner. Showing all his confidence. Again, not finding a green shirt with that clearance. This ball comes back again. Good interplay there. Well spotted by Turner. Clear his lines. Moruga with a real backs to the wall defensive performance in this second half. Depot PF have set up camp in their own half. As we approach just about 2 more minutes of time added on. These points are not yet safe. A goal separates these two teams. The Moruga really needs to do better to carve out an opportunity if they are to get a share of these points, at least. PF just losing out on that occasion. Shake of the head from Hector in your background there. This is Rivers. Lewis. Sent across there by Daniel. Well spotted by the PF defense. It's a bit of a foot race, a good tackle. He'll recover it. Comes Redhead. No tackles in. That shot is just wrong footing Turner, but saved in the end by the Moruga custodian. PF still have it. Good defensive intervention there. This ball is out to Peters. Satiba Charles, apologies. Wild tackle comes in, doesn't get the ball. This one is well over everyone's head. It will go out. Will be shepherded out there by Darren Moore, the Moruga right back. Another poor touch there from Lewis. It's allowing PF to once again come back at Moruga. Here's Hector. All the way over here to Redhead. Again stopped by Charles. It's good football there. But that's it. Referee Keelan Bacchus calls this one to an end. Final score: Deportivo PF 2, Moruga FC 1. It's been a very hard fought 3 points for the men from Point Fortin. Possibly a bit harder than they expected. But at full time, they leave with all three. Depo PF winning this match, first of 2 matches at the Arima Velodrome. And here are the highlights. First half, first goal, 4 minutes in. Well taken there by Ezekiel Keza. But Moruga would come right back. Ball to LaRode. Keon LaRode, well celebrated there. Beautiful football from Tyrese Reefer to set him up. Then a late mistake in this first half, 43rd minute. Foul. Penalty well put away by Nathaniel Garcia into the roof. Bit of argy-bargy there. There you see the protest coming from the Depo PF players. Yellow card went to the goal scorer, LaRode. This ball again from Reefer. That one was from Darren Moore. Not able to find one of his players. Ball in from Ragu. It's well wide of the targets. Another tough tackle there from Moruga, who came to play this afternoon, certainly. It was one of a handful from Isaiah Hudson to go into touch that shot. Houghton Hector came on, and this volley was well wrapped up by Kerval Turner. The shot hit the post from Redhead. Garcia again trying to sneak this one in past Turner. Well saved. A crossfield ball. And then eventual volley going well wide. Just wide, apologies. Kerval Turner called on a couple occasions to keep Moruga in this match. Didn't always go to plan, but did do his best, collecting on that occasion. Moruga still had a little bit in it, but just unable to find that telling touch in the final third. This corner was well wide of the post by Houghton Hector. Would have been a collector's item header for that man there, the diminutive Depo PF playmaker. In the end, Turner will not be beaten again in this match. The final score was 2-1 to Depo PF. We're going to take a short break and return with the build-up for the second match between Defence Force and Real West Fort. Stay with us.
What is television? It seems like a simple question, but television means different things to different people. We in the Caribbean are a very unique people. That's why we need unique television. Welcome to M&E TV, where we showcase our lives in the Caribbean. M&E TV is about us, the special way we talk, the way we walk, dance, move. M&E TV is about me. It's about you. M&E TV is about our amazing Caribbean experience.
Nothing the kind of match you expected given the sides of the table they're on. But now let's hear some reactions from first the Moruga team.
Tonight. Well, firstly, pleasant good night to everyone. As you can see, we made a lot of changes. The coach would have mentioned last game that we have a deep squad and we're trying to find the right 11. I think we are a step closer tonight to finding that right 11. Deportivo, Point Fortin, is one of the stronger teams in the competition, and to go down by 1 goal, a penalty, it shows that we are improving, and Moruga will be a force to be reckoned with in the second round.
In the end of the first round, second round, I guess, how do you guys look forward to building from this performance tonight?
Well, there's a week off, but we certainly wouldn't be off. The coach has already made preparations for us to touch the training ground and keep working. We're looking forward to at least climbing up the table pretty soon.
We certainly look forward for some better performances as we saw tonight from Moruga FC in the second round of this Ascension tournament of Trinidad and Tobago.
And those were the views of the Moruga team. Of course, a very improved performance from them coming up against a top 4 team in Depot PF, holding them to just a 1-goal win. 2-1 the final score. Of course, that player just speaking about the fact that it was a penalty. So good football there from Moruga today, good fighting spirit. And now we'll hear from the winning team this evening, Depot PF.
And our execution in the last third could have been much better tonight. With the possession we had, the scoreline should be a different picture tonight.
I mean, sometimes they say in this sport it's good to win ugly, and certainly getting the 3 points, continuing a 4-game winning streak for Deportivo now as you head into the break. How do you kind of reassess what happened tonight to come again in the second round?
Yes, but we don't take Moruga for granted. Because already bottom, we still have to come and play. We try to execute the plans we set about. It didn't went about how we expected, but we get the 3 points, and we could just build on it and prepare ourselves for the second round.
If I could ask you just to be a little bit more specific about what exactly did not pan out the way you guys planned it before coming out to the game today.
Okay. We came to press from the beginning of the game. Again, we come and secure the ball, we possess the ball, but the last third, the finishing. We get any chances, we reach in there, but we're not finishing. It's been a problem for us throughout the first round. We shall have more goals. Our defense is doing pretty well, but goal scoring has have been letting us down.
Yeah, only 14 before going into today's
Definitely.
game. Well, we hope to see Deportivo certainly ramping up their goal-scoring efforts in the second round of this Ascension tournament. Thanks for your thoughts, Assistant Coach Modest.
Thanks a lot.
So there you have it. A win, but a disappointing result there for Depot PF. They were hoping to send up their goal average. But we have an interesting second round coming up. These teams are finding their groove and finding it well. Now we'll hear from the player of the match, who is once again sidelined with Jassi Marik.
Our choice for player of the match this evening, Ezekiel Kiza, in a very flat Deportivo performance overall, one of the more lively players. Your thoughts on today's game from a team's perspective?
I find it was a game that was a bit sloppy. You know, I think that we could have done better and been, you know, a little more ruthless, you know, and clinical. But, you know, still thankful for the 3 points, in all fairness.
From a personal standpoint, you know, you got the opening goal. At that stage, it looked as though it would be, you know, business as usual for Deportivo against one of the weaker teams in this tournament. Where did things go wrong?
I don't want to say that we were lackadaisical, but, you know, sometimes in these kind of games, you know, it just doesn't get done. You know, you try everything, you do everything right, and sometimes it just doesn't score. So, you know, I think that it's just want to brush off really and, you know, go back on the training ground and, you know, and we'll come out again for the second round.
A few starts in this competition, but of late you haven't been on the starting sheet. You know, how do you think your performance tonight enhances your opportunities going forward?
Well, it doesn't really bother me, honestly. You know, I go every day on the training pitch and work hard. And, you know, I think that if I'm deserving, you know, I would play. So, you know, it doesn't really bother me whether I start or not. You know, I'm just willing to work.
All right, thank you so much, Ezekiel Kiza, our player of the match in the first match of this afternoon's Ascension Tournament of Trinidad and Tobago doubleheader from the Arima Velodrome.
Yeah, thanks.
So they thought
Game 2, it will see the defense force trying to continue to chase down the leaders, Lahokita Rangers. Of course, they lie in second, the Army Coast Guard combination. They'll be taking on Real Westfort United in Game 2. Stay with us. We'll have all of the action in a short few.
The situation we have